This story will take up the everyday situation of being unable to make a decision at a coffee shop. Getting out of overthinking about ordering a coffee shop. Part 1. The first event. On a mild Saturday morning in a quiet town, there was a man named John Smith who often had trouble ordering a drink at a coffee shop. John was a happy-go-lucky person, or we could say he was a thinker over the top. Small, everyday decisions, like ordering coffee, could be a lifeline for him. This morning, John had to go to Starbucks to order coffee for a meeting, but he had a desire for something better. That made his ordering process a nightmare. Part 2. Entering the coffee shop. John entered a charming Starbucks. The scenery was great. Everyone was either busy with their computers or books. The counter was full of people happily using coffee signs. John looked at the menu, which was full of complicated adjectives. Espresso, cappuccino, americano, latte, mocha, frappuccino, pumpkin spice latte. Likes and dislikes began to emerge. John stood in front of the menu and thought for more than 3 minutes. Part 3. Chatting with the barista. The barista asked, "Hello, what do you want?" John barely answered. He asked, "How is a latte different from a cappuccino?" The barista was playing with humor, trying to explain. "Latte has more milk for a froth than a cappuccino, which has less," John said because he believed it. "I want to try an espresso." The barista laughed because espresso is a small but sharp shadow. Part 4. Meeting a criminal. At this moment, there was a woman behind him. She wanted a pumpkin spice latte because she was going to start a new project. "Are you wasting our time?" she shouted with amusement. Part 5. The meaning of the work. John started listening a lot, but at the same time, they could only finish playing the game of look for it. Part 6. The never-ending choice. John was in a desperate situation. He asked the barista, "Why does everyone say pumpkin spice latte is good? Shouldn't it be a good choice for now?" The barista even started to laugh. He replied, "It's a staple in the fall. It has a mild flavor with a natural sweetness. But if you don't like a lot of milk, you can choose an Americano with added sugar." John continued to breathe more heavily. He felt like he needed a friend or a teacher to help him decide. Part 7. The time passing. The people around him also started to laugh or be surprised by John's slow decision-making. Minutes went by. At one point, the barista suggested, "The easiest thing would be to make it, honey. You could make a coffee with a few ingredients." But John had good faith in choosing what would best suit the day. He started asking questions. Part 8. People behind him start helping. A man waiting behind him started to join in the discussion. "You might try a mocha with whipped cream. It's less sweet and not as strong as an espresso." Another woman said, "Don't worry about the class. Espresso is the best if you want a strong coffee." John started to sit up, feeling lucky, but he didn't want to make anyone laugh. Part 9. The final decision. Finally, John made a decision he never thought would have such an impact. He asked the barista, "Can I have a sparkling wine?" The whole place burst into laughter. People in the shop started clapping their hands and praising him for his brilliant decision. The barista laughed even more. "Do you want a regular sparkling wine or a sparkling wine?" John dropped his head. "I'd like a sparkling wine, but with a candle scent." Part 10. Problem solving. After talking to the barista and many people in the shop, John is not sure if his sparkling water will actually have a candle scent. The barista, who is laughing again, asks, "Sparkling water is sparkling water, but if you want a flavored option, would you like lime, mint, or vanilla?" John never seems to get bored. He asks, "What kind of spice does mint smell like?" The barista takes more and more shots. He tries to keep it simple. "You can try the lime scent because it goes well with sparkling water." John decides to order the sparkling water with lime scent. People in the shop start thanking him for his decision. Part 11. People in the shop start chatting with John. As a person with many ideas, John has the personality to open up a wide range of discussions. After ordering the sparkling water, people in the shop start asking him questions. A man asks, "Have you ever had a reaction like this before?" John praised the direct question and said, "Yes, I used to stand over the Burger King menu for over 5 minutes, deciding whether to add a pickle to a bacon cheeseburger." The barista laughed. There's no one more thoughtful than John. Part 12. John's new feelings. After the cafe had absorbed the laughter, John decided to take a look at the proposal for a contribution to the neighborhood. He started to share sparkling water with a man who looked pale. The man asked, "Why did you start sharing this weekend?" John replied with a thought to share. "When I'm gone for a long time, those around me need memories too." Part 13. A memorable end. Finally, John ended his visit to the cafe with an open mind, a sparkling water masterpiece, and a sense of joy. After leaving the cafe, he chatted with his wife, who was waiting for him to return home. "John, what did you decide today?" John laughed and said, "Don't make me decide to go to the coffee shop again." Sparkling water is the key to life development. End of game. If you want to add information or deny any content, please let me know clearly. Part 14. Taking the School of Decisions. After leaving Starbucks, John realized he needed something to help him improve his decision-making skills. His friend jokingly suggested, "Maybe you should go to decision-making school." John had long understood that feeling, so he sought out an online class on decision-making skills. He enrolled in a course that promised, "When you're overthinking, you can use the key to figure out what's most important." Understand the difference between decision-making and decision-making. Use time effectively. John thought it was a necessary skill because it was good for him and those around him. Part 15. Talking to friends. On Sunday, John met a group of friends at a book club. He shared his Starbucks story, which made everyone laugh. A friend named Emily said, "It's a long time when you're at Starbucks. We can show you the 10 rules for making decisions in 1 minute." Emily shouted out some fun facts. 1. Don't overthink the options. 2. Choose what you enjoy the most. 3. Don't be afraid of the first mistake. It's part of learning. John began to understand that what he was facing wasn't a big problem. It was just a complication that many Americans face. Part 16. Making sense. Then, John received a message from Starbucks. "You've successfully welcomed a customer," with a lot of thought-provoking questions. "Join the special menu decision helper." The message made him laugh. People at Starbucks remembered him as a person with a lot of thought-provoking questions. Part 17. The way forward. From that day on, John became interested in connecting life to decision-making in a timely manner. He started using a speed-reading method for menu items. He thought, "Any book that makes reading chapters quickly can help me." Part 18. Multi-viewing ordering. When a neighbor saw John spending a long time at Starbucks, they joked, "I think this guy is not only thinking about ordering, but also about economic news or social issues." John continued to laugh, telling them, "The problem is that I always think about the background of the picture on the coffee cup." People in the store also started discussing, where does pumpkin spice latte come from? Or why Starbucks chose to put a label on the cup. Part 19. Ordering at home. When John got home, he tried the coffee ordering trick with his wife. He told his wife, "We could open a little coffee shop at home. If only there was a way to spend time deciding." His wife replied jokingly, "You might be the owner of the spending time section of this store." John thought the joke was just for fun, but it turned into an order in a difficult way. His wife asked John to think more about the cups that would fit on the separate tables. Part 20. Playing with kids. John's son also joined in the fun. He asked his father, "Do you spend this much time in the football stadium?" John started thinking about the question, saying, "So am I lucky, or is he the only one who was sent to use decision-making skills?" Part 21. Life in Coffee Paradise. Finally, John became the one everyone was talking about, setting up a coffee company for those who it take a long time to decide. He joked, "I save a lot of time for this life. And maybe Starbucks will create a menu called John's Choices." People in the store started walking out and complimenting. We'll be back to play with you again. Finally, ready to feel happy. What would you add or edit to make this story funnier?